Hey everybody, let's go. Let's do this. Alright, so I just got that key from this tub. And I'm gonna continue on. Is there another zombie in here? Actually, there is. I keep forgetting that. See, when I played as Chris, now, it must have been the arranged mode. This is where I just got kind of hopeless because, he doesn't have the lockpick, so there's like about 3 desks here, and I think, in pretty bad shape in terms of ammo, so I just got really pissed off because I was just like, I'm pretty sure the ammo that I need is in these desks, but I have to try it one day. I think I might do a random period stain on the floor, nice. But I'm gonna have to play as Chris one day. I kind of just want to. It's not gonna be my next Let's Play, but it'll be down the road, just for completion's sake. And I guess while I'm at it, do the arranged version for each character. But one thing at a time. Let's take it nice and slow. So I don't get how. I guess it just has to do with genetics, but like how the T virus makes only some organisms bigger, whereas with like humans it kills them and makes them zombies. Like they might have explained it in one of these games, or one of the media, like maybe there's some supporting books or something like that. I don't know, but I don't know. I kind of wonder about that. For some reason in this part I tend to backtrack a little more than the other parts of the game, just because I'm kind of a hoarder. I don't know. Like for some reason I decided to keep that red book in my inventory, but I don't think I need it at the moment. But it's alright, let's just kind of go with that. I'm thinking that I only need I don't know how long this Let's Play is gonna take in terms of how many videos quite yet. But it's not gonna take very long. I don't know. For some reason when I did the Heavy Rain one, like, and I like Heavy Rain, I do, but it just, well, to be fair, I guess I was a little discouraged, I guess, because of the technical difficulties I was experiencing, and I think that kind of combined with the fact that Heavy Rain is certainly a longer game than for example something like this. I think that just kind of wore me out, and I'm kind of like, I don't really want to do a game that's long like that, or even longer, even for at least some time. So who knows? But I don't know if those bees poison. I think they do. I think so. I'm not sure. I've never stood around to try to find that out, because you know what? I have this habit where I just don't pick up any any blue herbs. I don't know. This whole concept of a green herb, and how do you use a green herb? I know I've asked this before, but seriously, like, how do you use a green herb? That is such a vague term. And then look what happens when you mix them. You put them in a sheet of paper. Now, come on. If that's not suggestive, then I don't know what is. Okay? Just saying. Which key is this that I just picked up? I think it's the key for this door right here, which is good, because then I can get rid of it. But again, for some reason, sentimental purposes, I suppose, I decided to have that book in my inventory. Just been kind of thinking of casting. Like, I've not honestly, I think it's been, as of this time, it's been several months since I've casted, and it's just obviously it's like time. To me, it's kind of time consuming, and I mean, there have been times where I've just kind of been a little like, just kind of over it. The whole drama stuff. I mean, and I don't know. I just seem to have the worst luck in the world where, like, people literally day one, and this is gonna be, I think this is gonna verge on a semi-rant video. Sorry. But literally, and I can't, and this has happened to me several times, not just kind of a one-time thing, where people, viewers of mine, like kind of long-time viewers or people that I've seen regularly in my channel, they go from literally day one. For example, Monday, I'm casting. Some Monday out of the year. And they're fine. They come to my channel. We have a good chat. I'm just randomly playing whatever. And by whatever, I mean probably Resident Evil 2. I mean, just statistically speaking, if you've seen my cast, 90% of them are of that game. But anyway, that's besides the point. So that day, everything is fine. Then nothing happens. At least on my end, nothing happens. Next thing you know, maybe I cast the next day or the day after, you know, just kind of a 1 or 2 day break between the casts. Next thing you know, all of a sudden that same person just has the biggest attitude with me. Keep in mind, I did nothing with that to that person. I had no conversation outside of the cast. The only interaction I had with them was what I thought was a positive one in my, you know, during my cast, and that was it. And it just left me so confused. I was just like, wait a second, is this the same person? Like, what on earth is going on? And I don't know how many of you guys who are watching this Let's Play, this video, I guess in particular, are casters. And, you know, I casted on Twitch, and now I cast on Hitbox. Personally, I think Hitbox is superior. I know there's not many people on it, but I'm kind of hoping that changes, just because I kind of like, you can tell that they really are for the people. Now, for the people, that sounded so, like, so historical, I guess. But I get that Twitch is kind of a big money machine now. I think, Google just bought it or something? Which, who knows what the hell that means. Google got YouTube, and, like, now I can't even reply to half of people's comments. I do apologize, by the way. I hope whoever has posted comments recently hears that I'm so sorry. I want to comment, I want to reply to you, but I can't. I don't know, and I have no idea why. I've never had this issue before. But who knows what's gonna happen. And I fail to see the point of Twitch, for example, having channels that have these, like, large viewer counts where the chat's still going on. Who the hell is gonna chat in a channel with 10,000 people and probably a good, you know, like 20% of them are talking, which is like 2,000 people, you know? Like, it's just, what in the hell? Did people really think that was gonna be necessary? Don't have the chat there. Or restrict the chat to certain people. I don't know. But I don't understand. And of course, whenever that happens, then Joe Schmo's channel over here gets impacted. He or she is casting, just minding their own business, casting. And their chat is just acting up because of that whole nonsense. I mean, you could literally, it's like clockwork. You say, okay, there's going to be an event soon. And I like this right here, like, I like how Joel's just standing still right there. Just, again, time just kind of froze right there. And I did like what they did. The aqua ring is by far superior in the remake. What they did with the sharks, they made that moment even more intense. Here, it's just like, you're literally like a foot away from the door that you need to be when the sharks appear. So there's really not much of a threat. I think you have to purposefully kind of stand there. And by the way, I don't know if the shark kind of eats you whole or what the deal is. I've never really tried to find that out, but it's definitely, it's not scary because you know you're just right there, especially when you know where you're going. But anyway, going back to this whole Twitch thing, between the drama, between the technical difficulties, I stopped kind of seeing the appeal of it. To me, it really defeated the purpose. Twitch or any site like that, I'm supposed to be able, I would love to, that's my goal, to be able to speak to people as I'm playing a game. Hey, how's your day going? You know, my day is going well. And hey, did you hear about this? Did you hear about this game? Did you hear about this news? And when the chat is just so broken that you can't even do that, I just kind of shrug my shoulders and I say, for all that effort, I may as well just make YouTube videos. You know what I mean? For what it's worth. Because I think once you have a system set up, and of course, there's always room for improvement. But once you have a system set up, making YouTube videos is like way easier than casting. Not that I dislike casting. I love casting. But it would kind of grate on me. But with that in mind, you know, even so, nevertheless, I still do want to cast. It's just a matter of me, kind of practically speaking, like I said, it's a lot of time, kind of a lot of energy, and sometimes I have like too many things to do, and it's just not, you know, it's just not feasible for a day. But I really want to try to get back to it though, and not just getting back to casting, but kind of revamping my whole channel, the whole concept of it. Now in that sense, I'm even so, I'm always going to be a retro gamer. I'm always going to have that tendency. Yes, I will play a new game every once in a while if it's good. I'm not going to play a game just for the sake of playing it, and I have seen people do that. I'm going to play a game just because it seems popular and I want viewers. Now, was I guilty of that mentality? Absolutely. Anybody who sits there and goes to the trouble of casting and says, oh, I'm not casting to get famous, is full of horseshit. I don't care what anybody says. If you don't want to get famous, then let me tell you something, then don't cast. There's much easier ways to not get famous. Let me tell you that. But anyway. So, I don't know. I will still have kind of a tendency towards retro games. But maybe kind of a wider net of games. You know, I'm kind of on eBay shopping for things and stuff like this. I'm kind of looking forward to. The thing is, for me, I feel like the best consoles in terms of library selection are the PlayStation 1, this right here, and the Super Nintendo, SNES. Which, by the way, who the hell says SNES or sneeze or something like that? First of all, sneeze, that's gross. SNES. I have a habit of saying most acronyms, spelling them out. You know, that's how I say them. And when I grew up, everybody said SNES, SNES, or NES. So I don't know. Then all of a sudden I heard somebody say SNES, and I'm just like, what the hell are you talking? I didn't even know what he was referring to, and I'm like, what? Oh, the Super Nintendo. I'm like, oh. It kind of threw me for a loop. But anyway, I digress, as I always do. But I think those two systems are by far the most superior. Nothing even comes close. Maybe the PlayStation 2 is very decent. I mean, but there's something quite magical about PlayStation and Super Nintendo games. The only thing is I have to figure out how to cast. Well, I have a Retron 5, by the way, so I hope you guys are jealous, because I went through a lot of trouble to get it. And I don't know if they're still on back order. I know they came out early June. I got them about a month or so later. So not too bad. I'm actually pretty fortunate to have gotten one. And I didn't even pre-order it. I know there's some people that, as of a few months later, they're still kind of waiting for their pre-order to be filled. That's pretty disappointing. And I do feel bad for people like that. That's why I kind of said, you know, if you're impatient, just go on eBay. But exercise caution. There's people that are selling them for like $200, and don't buy it from those people. Let those jackasses lower their price. Trust me. Now, because I think the actual price is like something like $140, $139.99, something like that. So, I mean, on eBay you might have to pay maybe $10, $20 more, depending, if you're lucky. Because when I bid for it, there was a high demand for it. So I was lucky that I got mine. So I felt pretty fortunate, and it's pretty awesome, I have to say. So far I've played Metroid Fusion on it, and I played a bit of Metroid Zero Mission, which I had already beaten before, but I wanted to play it again because I really liked it a lot. Because I never played the original Metroid. Oh, and by the way, this part right here, I know I've completely ignored this gameplay, but I love this part right here because it's like high school chemistry. I mean, it even looks like a high school chemistry, not a class, but like, look at it. You go to a chemistry school, unless you go to like a high school and they teach you chemistry and they have a little lab there. Unless you have like a state-of-the-art school that you're going to, it's gonna look like this. You're gonna have like wooden shelves, and you're gonna have these old bottles and just mixing stuff. I know when I took chemistry and then organic chemistry, this was in college though, it was just kind of like, it was good. I mean, I preferred biology, but if you major in biology, you have to take a chemistry class, a couple chemistry classes. I mean, it makes sense. They're related. So, by the way, I did not have enough space, unfortunately, so I like how she's just running around with these random chemicals. Hey, let's just pour shit into each other and we're good. I like that they added an element to the remake version of that puzzle, where if you made the wrong combination, chances are you probably made something that produced like a noxious gas. So I thought that was pretty awesome. So you have to be like very careful with that. This is why I need to play remake. Yes. But anyway, I remember at one point in my organic chemistry class, towards the end of it, one of the projects we had to do was they gave us something unknown and we had to guess what it was using some of the techniques that they taught us throughout the labs. So you had to do like a chemical reaction, and based on what you got in the chemical reaction, you had to say, okay, this is the chemical that I got. So when I got this unknown chemical, first of all, everybody else got either like a liquid form of whatever chemical it was or a solid like kind of powder form. I got these weird ass like pellets. So that was a nightmare to try to measure out, because you have to weigh them. You have to weigh how many grams for like a particular, and you have to be sort of precise. So I was like, how? Okay, so I guess I'm just lucky like that. And then, so that was fine. I managed to work around that as best as I could. Then next thing you know, like I said, one of the things we had to do was to do a reaction. We had to mix two chemicals together to produce a certain reaction, and then we had to keep the product of that reaction. And then so I did that, and they gave us like several weeks to do this project. So I did the chemical reaction, and I had my product. I tried to save it as best as I could, in a bottle, secured it in my locker. Next thing you know, so that's squared away, and I'm like, okay, great. When I come back, I need to do something further with this. I come back the following week, and the bottle is there, but everything's evaporated from it, and I was absolutely horrified. And by this time, this was like the last week to wrap up all your work with this, and I was just absolutely mortified. So I just, as fast as I could, I redid the reaction. I saved the thing again, and I was hoping and praying that it wouldn't evaporate like it did last time. And thankfully it didn't. I couldn't believe it. When I came back, because we needed to take that chemical that resulted from the reaction and give it to the professor. He was going to run it through a machine. The machine was going to give us an output. I think it was like an NMR machine, whatever. It's been years, so I really don't remember the details of much of this. So I just finished creating the VJolt, and we're gonna go ahead and feed it to the plant roots. But anyway, so I was just the entire week, just leading up to that, I was just kind of hoping and praying. I'm like, dear God, let there be one drop of that compound in that bottle. And sure enough, actually there was. So I was somewhat shocked. So I was able to give that to him. He gave me the readout, and I just guessed as best as I could. And I love how these sharks are still sort of flopping around, which doesn't make any sense. I've been gone a very long time. They should be kind of dead by now, or dying. So here we go. Little V-Jolt juice. And I don't know why there's a scrotum, a giant scrotum on the left of the screen right here. I have no idea what that is, but it's disturbing me, so I'm gonna get out of here. So, in a way, I'm like, thank God I never have to do anything like that again. I mean, it was fun. It was challenging, of course, because it was a class, and you have to worry about getting good grades and stuff like that. But it was interesting. It was very, very, very interesting, and I'm trying to think if there was, for some reason, that lab stuck out. I mean, I had to also take physics, which for some reason, I absolutely hate physics. I've never been able to grasp physics as well as I could biology, of course, and chemistry even. So, but physics, for some reason, my goodness. I remember I had two different professors, one for one semester and one for the other, and one of them, literally, all he would do was, like, just write a bunch of formulas and a bunch of, like, weird symbols that I'd never seen before, and I've never seen again, of course, on the board, and he would, he was talking, so I'm presuming he was explaining it, but I was just like, what? I don't even understand. And he was speaking English, of course, but I was just like, I don't even understand this. I was, like, tempted to, like, not even go to the class, because I said, you know, a better use of my time is to just sit and try to read the textbook. But the textbook was no better. The textbook was just as horrendous. I don't know how the hell I got through that course. I think the only thing that saved me in that course was the fact that the tests were multiple choice, so I could do some level of process of elimination. But this was my process of elimination. I would look at the problem. It would ask me some kind of question, and I would say, okay, alright, this formula over here looks like it's somewhat relevant to this. Okay, let me plug in whatever numbers I can see. And let's say the answer that I get using that formula is like 2,000 miles per hour. And the nearest number is like 100 miles per hour. Like, literally that's the nearest number. Everything else is completely off. Then I would say, close enough. Letter C. My standards were very low for that course because I did not expect to really kind of fare well. But I passed it. Somehow. I have no idea. But I think if I were to take it now, because there's so many more resources out there now, like, you know, you have iTunes University, blah, blah, blah. At least I would have had some options, but this was just, my word. Like I said, I'm still in shock. How the hell I got through that course is beyond me. Physics. And to me, physics is actually somewhat interesting. You know what I mean? Like, and the labs that we did. We had a lab section, and ooh, tentacle plant. How does the plant have the ability to move like that? I understand that it's infected with a virus, but seriously, there's infected with a virus, and then there's just kind of science mumbo jumbo, pseudo blah blah blah, pseudo crap, and this is bordering on magic right here. This is bordering on possession, I think. But I don't know. And by the way, at this point I really wanted to use the flame rounds, but I kind of locked into this grenade round choice here. And there you have it. See, I don't know what triggers Barry to appear here. I think it has to do with the series of events I talked about in a previous video, where instead of him helping me with the shotgun, you see him in forests. The room where you find forest, the area where you find forest. I don't know, something like that. But I'm not that familiar with this game. As familiar as other games, certainly. But hey, I have a lifetime to play this game, don't I? Oh, hotness.
Wesker.
Jill, so you're safe.
That's what I was going to say. Where on earth have you been? You disappeared from the hall all of a sudden.
I'm sorry, but I have my reasons. Perhaps you guys have met them? It was all I could do to protect myself against those strange creatures.
Is that right? Anyway, it's good to see you're safe.
Jill, our first priority is to get out of here.
Yes, you're right.
Now, there are a lot of rooms in that mansion that we can't get into because they're locked up. I have been looking around for clues.
Okay, I'll go to the other house and see if I can find any clues.
Will you do that? I'm counting on you.
Alright, couple things right there. First of all, I like how Jill had a British accent right there. Where on earth have you been? Like, she trying to sound sophisticated there or what? Secondly, what the hell is up with Wesker wearing like an umpire shirt? And for that matter, why are they just not wearing the same uniform? Everybody's like, it's like Power Ranger status. Hey, Jill's the Blue Ranger. Wesker's the Black Ranger. Barry's got the red, Chris has got the green. Like, what is going on here? How the hell would I know that they're in the same unit? I guess they're expressing their individuality. I don't know. It looks awesome, but it makes no sense. But we're just about done with the guardhouse right here, so I'm just saving because I think you guys know what's next. Many decapitations might follow. Alright, until next time.